Hello, traders and current subscribers. Welcome to Optional Enterprises Watchlist for April 6th, 2020. And we are at a turning point in the market, possibly, where the VIX is ranging downwards and a lot of stocks have had historic rallies back up, and we're now kind of in a stage of accumulation. Our first one here is XOP, and this one is in a stage of accumulation. We're looking to try and break out of it this week. It is triggered for a reversal to the upside, and you can see that we are just kind of in this ranging zone here. And could be looking to come back down, but we are triggered for a reversal, so we're hoping for a breakout to the upside. It's got about a $4 expected move this week, and we've got some pretty interesting trades happening around the 34s. Right there you can see that 2,540 were traded on an open interest of 2,190. So if this open interest well, if it increases, then this could be a potential support zone that we want to hold for higher prices. However, if 34 breaks, then we're looking back down to 30. This original open interest was opened on the 2nd with around 2,000 contracts traded at around 152 by 191. And I'm looking at the chart right now, and it looks like they were actually opened up around 143. So these are almost 100% returns right now. So these could very well be people closing out positions, and then we've got some sellers right here looking to capitalize on a move downwards back down to 30, which is where we've got some puts being traded. Had a pretty big bid here at 33. So back over to the chart with our $4 expected move in mind. We're looking for 33.96 to hold above 33.96, and we're going to be looking up to 39.52 for our long target. Below 33.96, and we could be looking down to 29.48. So for calls, we want an entry above 33.96, which is where that critical support level is. We're going to make our target 39.52, which is a little bit outside that $4 trading range. Well, actually, it's inside of it. So yeah, I would say 39.52. If you really get worried, you could take profit around 36.94, but I'm looking for 39.52 this week. For short entries, we're looking below 33.96 on some pretty strong conviction, and the short target that we're looking for there is going to be 29.48. Alright guys, that's it. Let's move on to our second one. So our next one here is BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. Again, horrible fundamentals on this, but still triggered for a reversal. If you caught this one last week, we were looking for that short down to 375. We caught that below 456, and that was I think plus 200% on that one. But this week we're looking for 375 to hold for a price target of 456. Now this only has a 60-cent expected move, so the 456 is pretty optimistic. But if we take a look at Bed Bath & Beyond and the long term, you can see that it's taking a pretty hard hit. We're trading back down to our 97, 96 lows here. And there's a little interest to the upside. Not much, but a little for a stock in this condition. We've got 690 traded on the 4, and these 500 were actually opened up just before that decline. So these could be people closing out that position. We'll have to see what that open interest turns into. Also, we've got some traded here at the 350, 513. So below 350, and we're looking down to the 3. But if we can hold the 375, I'd be looking up to 450, at least as far as the option chain is concerned. triggered for a reversal to the upside. I think it looks good for it. So, oops. For longs, entry above 375, which we're currently at, but had some strong buying, so I anticipate just a little bit of consolidation above that 375 levels. And our target is going to be 456. For shorts, entry below 375. Even as low as 350 would be, yeah, we're going to say 350 since that's where that open interest is at. So below 350. And we're going to look down to a target of 3. Alright, that does it for BBBY. Let's move on to the next one. So our next one here is MU, Micron Technology, and this one, looking for continuation on MU. If we can get that 40.55 level to hold, we're looking up to 44.54, below 40.55, and we're looking down to 38.80. So the entire basis for this trade is we can see a huge amount of open interest on the put side between 38 and 41. You see a lot of volume being traded there, and likewise with the calls, we're looking at 40 and 41, just over 6,000 being traded at those levels. Going to want to see what that open interest turns into Monday. We can tell though that just by looking at this, that the 40-41 level is a pretty critical area, so we definitely want to see that area hold if we want to see continued rise out of MU's. Got about a $3 expected move this week. From its current level, that brings us down to around 39, to the upside around 44, and that falls perfect with our price targets. So 40.55 is going to be that support level we want to hold. If that holds, then we're looking up to 40.54. If 40.55 however cannot hold, then we're looking down to 38.80. So for longs, we want an entry above 40.55, target 44.54. For shorts, below 40.55, target 38.80. Alright, that's it for MU. Let's move on to the... Alright, so our next one here is going to be the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. And this one's done a little differently. As you know, I don't use any of the candles or price levels. The only price levels I use are block trades and open interest. And we had some pretty strong trading at 101.94, it looks like. This was a couple weeks ago, and that's what we're selling into right now. Looks like it was on the 23rd. This has got about a $7 expected move right now, so we want 101.94 to hold for an upper price target of 108. Below 101.94 though, and we're looking down to 93. So jump over here to our open interest, and we can see that a lot of the open interest that we're looking at definitely falls within that range. The upper range being around 110 with around 12,000 traded, and our lower range coming down to around this 97 with around 10,000. The first major level on the put side though is going to be at this 100. Below 100 would be pretty strong confirmation that we're going to see 97. So that's pretty much the deal with IWM. Again, we want 101.94 to hold. For long entries with a target of 109. For shorts, we want an entry below 101.94, but careful, that is a block level, so usually when we fall below block levels, it isn't just instantaneous. It doesn't just happen all at once. Usually there's a little bit of sideways action around 101.94 around block trades. So, but below 101.94, and I'd be looking for a first target of 100, second target 97. And that does it for IWM. Let's move on to. So our next one here is IYR. This is the iShares Real Estate ETF. And 64 is a pretty critical level on this one. We had two trades placed at exactly the same time. The 64 calls were placed at a premium of 181, and the puts were placed at a premium of 199. So there's a few ways that that could have gone down. They were placed at exactly the same time. That to me suggests a strangle. Now there's no way of knowing whether this strangle was initiated as a straight out buy, meaning they bought the calls and the puts, or they sold the calls and bought the puts, or bought the puts and sold the calls. Needless to say, 64 is going to be a critical level, and this has got about a $4.28 expected move this week. So I think if we start to see movement in one direction or the other below or above 64, that's going to tell us where we're going. Also, real estate just had some bad numbers. You know, I think mortgage applications were down like 28 or 29% or something like that. So real estate's not looking so hot right now. So obviously we could be leaning a little more bearish on this. The calls were cheaper, so they could have sold the calls at 181 to finance some puts at 199, expecting this to fall down to 60. So that's my idea around IYR. As for calls, you just want to see some strong volume going above 64. So you want an entry above 64. Your target is going to be 68.50. For puts, you want an entry below 64, which is where I kind of believe this is headed, but you know, who knows. Your target is going to be 60. And that does it for IYR. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so our next one is the semiconductor ETF SOXL, and we've got a pretty critical level around 80. We had some calls or some puts open up on the 24th. About 1,000 of them traded at 930 by 1190. And these calls were traded, or these puts were traded at a premium of $10. Looks like there was 1,128 of them traded on the 24th. So the idea with SOXL having a $21 expected move this week is that we really want 80 to hold. 80 to hold, and we're looking up to the 100 level for an upper price target, but below 80 we could be looking down to 60. And you see there's not too much optimism over here on the call side, so 80 could be coming pretty quickly this week. Again, we're going to be waiting to see if the market's going to be bearish or bullish, but for calls we want an entry above 80. Target, we're going to be 100. For shorts, we want entries below 80. Also want to see some activity on those puts, those 80 puts. You'll probably start to see some volume as the premium starts to decrease, which would confirm that this was not a spread that indicated a range trade between 80 and 100, but in fact a bearish spread. That means we're looking for a close below 80 by the end of the week. So for short entries, you want an entry below 80, and your target is going to be 60. That does it for SOXL. Let's jump on to the last one. And for our last one here, we've got VXX, which seems to have stabilized, and with the negative sentiment that's been out over the weekend and the past week, then we could definitely be looking at some bearish activity this week, which means bullish activity for VXX. Now, of course, VXX option activity could represent nothing more than hedging, so we don't put a whole lot of stock into the open interest, but they can be a pretty good indicator of where we're headed. Not a lot of calls below. Plenty of activity right at the money, 46 being a pretty serious level. Above 46, we're looking up to 51. Below 46, we could be looking down to 39. I'm of the idea that we're looking for some calls this week, so above 46 is going to be that level that we're looking for. So calls above 46. Target 51. Puts below 46. Target 39. That does it for VXX. I want to thank you for watching my watch list. If you haven't, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel if you found anything that helped you trade this week. This is Optional Enterprises, and I'll talk to you next week.